Let's talk a little bit about the data that the chart is using. So first off, when I first created the chart, I started out by selecting the data that I wanted to chart. So I grabbed from B4 down to E9. That's where my data is at. I went to the Insert tab and I picked my type of chart. Okay? Really simple to do. Now that I've got a chart created, what if I want to modify the data? Maybe I want to remove something, like I don't want the month of March in there. I just want January and February, right? I want to modify that. Or maybe I don't care about February. I just want January and March, right? Whatever it might be. How can we modify the data that is being used inside of this chart? Let's take a look at it. So there's actually a few ways to do this. Here's one. I'll select the chart. I'm then going to go up to my Chart Design tab. And on the Design tab, I've got a section here called Data. Right? There's an option for Switch Row Column, which we will talk about. But right next door, there's an option for Select Data. This is really the chart's data source. So if I click on Select Data, this opens up my Select Data source. And I can currently see that my chart data range is that B4 to E9. Remember, that's what I selected when I initially created the chart. From bills down to E9 cell, the last value in the March for candy. Okay? Now, what if I want to modify this? Well, I could do this a couple different ways. One, if I just highlight the chart data range there, I'm going to delete it out, so I'll just backspace that. It's gone. If I were to hit OK right now, I'm not going to, but if I were to hit OK, I would get a blank chart because it has no data range in it. Well, let's say I want to leave February out. I just want bills, January, and March. So what I'm going to do here is I'll select B4 down to C9. That's just the bills in January. Stop right there. I'm then going to hold down my Control key on my keyboard, and I'm going to grab the E4 to E9 cell, or range. So now if you look at my chart data source there, the data range, it now shows those two separate non-adjacent ranges of cells. I'm leaving February out of there. You can see down below, even updated, I've only got January and March. I hit OK, whoop, and I've now got my chart. Okay. Oh, but there's something funny happening here. And I do want to point out that this may not happen to everybody. This is, in my opinion, is kind of a little bug that resides inside of Excel charts. Once again, if I select the chart, go back to Chart Design, go back, and yes, go to Chart Design, go back to Select Data. It's only showing January and March, but for some reason, it's still showing up February down here. And I've seen this one come up quite a bit inside the course Q&A section. If you haven't visited the Q&A section of the course, make sure you do that. You can ask your questions. You could read previous questions and replies to those questions. But I see this one quite a bit. So I'm glad it actually happened to me right here. So I hit OK. I need to get rid of February. That shouldn't be there. I did not include it. Well, if I select that x-axis, those labels there along the bottom of my chart, I'm going to right-click on it, and I'm going to go into Format Axis. This will open up a little panel on the right. And the first thing that I see there, I'm on the Axis options here, is Axis Type. And currently it says it's automatically select based on data. What I'm going to do is just toggle it to, I'm going to toggle it to date. Let's see what happens here. Nope, still kept it. I'll go to text. There it goes. Gone. So like I said, it's kind of a little buggy in my opinion. I don't see it all the time inside of Excel charts, but it will pop up on you. And when that does happen, again, just right click on the axis there at the bottom, Format Axis, get into the panel and toggle the axis type. I went to text and it seems to work perfect for me. Great. So try this out. This is just modifying the data range. So I select the chart design, and you've got the select data option right there, and you can modify it. Remember on the Windows systems, you hold down the Control key, you can select non-adjacent data. On a Mac, if you're on a Mac, I believe it's the Command key, and you can select non-adjacent data ranges as well. And just to point out one more time, I did the months. What if it was a specific bill that you didn't want? So maybe I want the months, all 3 months. I want rent and phone. I'll stop right there. I don't want credit card. Okay. So I'm going to hold down my Control key and I'm going to grab from B8 down to E9. So I'll leave credit card out. And remember, I used the control key on the Windows systems. So now you can see here I've got my 4 items. I'll hit OK. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 items: rent, phone, food, and candy, leaving out credit card. So try this out. Select the chart, go to chart design, and go into the select data option, and you can modify it from there.